It's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Finish Strong Friday presented by DraftKings, America's #1 rated sportsbook app. What do we do on Fridays? Well, I give you my picks for every game in the NFL, but also we give out winners because we love people that help us win.
I want winners. I want people that want to win.
By the way, I will say this. It does seem like several of you have stepped it up in terms of spreading the word about the podcast via social media. That is much appreciated. Love you guys. By the way, both my daughters this morning. What day is it today, girls? It's a Finish Strong Friday. They know what's up. We bring it all day so that we feel good all weekend about what we did during the work week for our families. That's me, that's you, that's Bri, that's all of us. My daughter's at school, it's everybody. The Spread the Word winner this week, Austin Steigerwalt. Austin, all he had to do was like a post by @RossTuckerPod on Instagram. It was that easy. And now, Austin, you can get a signed picture, a signed football card, or you can get one of these press passes I've got. I've got the first 3 Army games, maybe first 4 Army games. I told you on Monday I'll be doing Chiefs, Bills, Thursday, Giants, Eagles. So let me know what you'd like, Austin. Austin just liked it on Instagram, @RossTuckerPod. You can like it for me too, @RossTuckerNFL. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. He is like a jacked, healthy dude. I was peeping out Austin's Instagram profile then, like all of his posts are him doing like fitness stuff. You are jacked, Austin. And now you're a winner. You already were a winner in life. Now you're a winner on the Ross Tucker Podcast. Sponsor confirmation email winner. How about Brian Gibb? I think he wanted one of the free Madden codes. And I think he went ahead and maybe that's part of the reason why he signed up for the DraftKings Sportsbook app. But good for you, man. Brian, you get what you want. Picture, card, press pass. Sorry you didn't get one of the Maddens, but I still want to reward the people that use the promo code Ross when they get the DraftKings Sportsbook app on their phone. YouTube shout out, Matt Collard, Collard. I have noticed, by the way, that some of you that win the YouTube shout outs, maybe you just subscribe to youtube.com/RossTuckerNFL just for the highlight clips or whatever, because you never hit me up with who you would like the shout out to be. I never get that email, ross@rosstucker.com, as to who you'd like the shout out for. So anyway, Matt, you got to let me know. ross@rosstucker.com. Last shout out before we get to the big show. Remember, I'm about to make my picks for every game, and these are straight up picks. If you want them against the spread, that is Tuesday on the Even Money podcast. But the Even Money bets, my Friday picks, Monday press box food grades, power rankings, all of them are now available in written form thanks to intern Sham on our private Slack channel. So just sign up at patreon.com/RT Media if you want the visual for all the stuff I say here on the show. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
Good morning, Ross. No game to break down from last night. So instead, let's get your thoughts on the situations involving Le'Veon Bell in Kansas City, Dwayne Haskins in Washington, the Atlanta Falcons, and now the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, so first, Le'Veon Bell. So this is interesting. I think Mike Garafolo tweeted this, but because Le'Veon Bell, yes, he has an offset against his guarantees with the Jets, but he can claim termination pay because he was released after week 1 and still be able to double dip. Now, I think that's interesting because I would think the Jets would argue that the termination pay or whatever he gets paid by the new team still goes against their offset. But basically, termination pay would be he gets his salary for the rest of the year from the Jets, and then whatever he gets from the new team, that's on top of that. So the Jets wouldn't have to pay him any more than that, but the termination pay is really a benefit collectively bargained through the union. So at any rate, it appears as if Le'Veon Bell will actually get the double dip with the Chiefs. As I tweeted last night, I'm at Ross Tucker NFL. If you think about the history of skill guys, once they've gotten away from Adam Gase, Ryan Tannehill, Kenyon Drake, Devontae Parker, Robbie Anderson, it's good. It's real, real good. So we shall see if that's the case for Le'Veon Bell in Kansas City. This probably, I mean, they didn't sign him to have him not participate. So this probably takes me out of the running in my Fantasy Feast redraft league because running back was my weakest spot. And my best guy was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And now this is going to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And now this is going to eat into that. As for the Haskins thing, I tweeted this yesterday, Bri. I don't know if we talked about it. And I don't know if this is because of the COVID era, if you will, and I'll get to that momentarily. We'll see if Haskins is allowed to practice today. But this started last Sunday morning. They told him not to come to the facility because he had a stomach bug. Well, I guess the first thing I would say is 5 days is a long time for a stomach bug. That's number one. Number two, my rookie year was 2001. From then until now, I've never heard of a guy not at the facility, not able to practice for 5 days because they were sick. Now, again, maybe part of this is the COVID protocols, whatever, although he's tested negative for that every single day. And the timing of this happening right when he loses his starting job is curious at best. So I'm not saying there's anything funny going on here. I'm just saying it is very interesting and something to make a note of. The Falcons situation, it ended up only being one other member of the organization that tested positive. And it wasn't even a player, but with the protocols they have now, they're not taking any chances. They're keeping everybody home until they can do another round or two of testing to make sure everybody else is clear. We'll have to see what's going on with the Colts. That just came down right now as we're recording this, 7:15 a.m. Eastern time. We'll have to see what happens with the Colts and how many are positive and how many are players, et cetera. But unfortunately, it's feeling like this is kind of an everyday thing. The other thing I would say, Bri, is, they now have this intensive protocol where even if you test negative, but you are exhibiting any flu-like symptoms, they want you to be automatically banned from going to any practice or game or being in the facility for 5 days. Totally understand what they're doing. I think they're probably setting themselves up for guys to not report those symptoms. I mean, very rarely does any player miss any day for flu-like symptoms, period. I mean, there were times where I was sick as a dog. You just don't miss. And if guys are testing negative, I just don't envision guys. I think you're asking guys in this situation, right or wrong, to not admit or declare that they're suffering from flu-like symptoms. These guys have worked their whole lives for this. I don't think that they're going to miss practice or certainly a game because they have a sniffle or they're coughing. They're just not. I think a decent amount of guys are just not going to say anything as long as they keep testing negative. That's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. That's just what I think will probably happen. I'm not saying it's right. I am just saying I think that is realistic. I'm also saying that DraftKings Sportsbook is America's top-rated sportsbook app. They're bringing back, by the way, here in week 6, their can't-miss offer, which is crazy. All new users receive a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. Think about that. Plus, in addition to that sign-up offer, which is amazing, DraftKings offers great odds boosts every Sunday to help you make it rain. DraftKings is as legit gets, the only U.S.-based sportsbook, which is awesome. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code ROSS when you sign up and get up to $1,000. That's code ROSS to get a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. Limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey or PA only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
Let's start with the Denver Broncos, the New England Patriots.
You know, on the one hand, wow, the Patriots only have to have Cam Newton miss one game because he's going to play in this game, it looks like. It appears as Stephon Gilmore doesn't miss any games. Flip side is the Broncos get their quarterback back. Honestly, I think the Broncos would have rather played the Patriots with no Drew Lock, but also no Cam Newton and no Stephon Gilmore if they had their druthers. I think they would take that trade 10 out of 10 times. Didn't happen. I expect the Patriots to take care of business. Not sure what to expect really from any of these guys, but especially Drew Lock. He's been away for a while. You got to think he'll be a little sluggish. I'll go Patriots 27, Broncos 17.
Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans.
This is one that I know some people I've talked to that, you know, place wagers on the game at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. They kind of like the Texans because of what they did last week in their first game without Bill O'Brien, because Tennessee's coming off, you know, a Tuesday night game, super short week for them, and it's not for the Texans. I don't care. I think the Titans are a significantly better team than the Texans. If they were able to handle all the other COVID stuff, I don't think a short week's going to mess with them that much. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong on Monday. But I'm going to go Tennessee 24, Houston 20. It's a close game, but I just have faith Titans, Mike Vrabel, finding a way to get it done late.
Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Really looking forward to this one. You know, I thought what Greg Cosell said yesterday, and if you missed it, go back and check it out on yesterday's Ross Tucker Football Podcast about Baker Mayfield. Quote, quite honestly, he's not playing very well. And that's been posted on our social channels and our YouTube page. I thought that was interesting. Combine that with Baker obviously being limited and they're calling it a rib injury. I think he hurt his shoulder too. That's a bad combo. I took the Browns with the points. Still don't even feel great about that one. I'll go Pittsburgh 27, Cleveland 20. I think Pittsburgh gets all after Baker Mayfield, and I think he struggles in this game with the injury. Steelers by 7.
Baltimore, Philadelphia.
So the Eagles found their offense a little bit last week with Travis Fulgham. That's the good news. The bad news is even when the Ravens don't play well, they win by double digits, which is unbelievably hard to do in the NFL. I think the Eagles' D-line needs to be absolutely dominant. I think that's very difficult to do against this Ravens bunch. And I'm not sure Travis Fulgham, now that the Ravens saw what he can do, they've got some really good corners. Marlon Humphrey's one of them. Jimmy Smith's still a good player. I mean, Marcus Peters, I don't see Fulgham having that kind of day again now that the word on him is out. Baltimore 26, Philadelphia 16.
The Washington football team at the New York Giants.
Well, I think the Giants are going to get their first win here. I really do. I just think they've been knocking on the door the last 2 weeks. They're awfully close now. Washington still don't really know what to expect. I mean, maybe Kyle Allen comes out and plays well, but he's been in the concussion protocol for a few days. Whereas I liked what I saw from the Giants against the Cowboys. I thought they showed some resilience after that tough loss to the Rams. I think Joe Judge, I've said this a number of times on the show, I think Joe Judge has those guys playing for him. And I think the G-men take care of business in this one. 23-17. Giants get Joe Judge's first victory as an NFL head coach.
Atlanta, Minnesota. And do the Falcons get their first win this season?
No, they do not. I do not think that's going to happen. I like the way the Vikings have been playing offensively. You know, they've been money. Now, I don't think Dalvin Cook's going to play. My NFL insider tweet translator tells me he's not going to play. The Vikings are still trying to hold out hope there, but listen, he's got a little bit of a groin injury. They got the bye after this. Makes no sense to play him in this football game. There's been enough hints from Tom Pelissero and Adam Schefter. I don't think he's playing. I'm going with the Vikings to take care of business because Alexander Madison's pretty good. What does Joe Dolan call him on the Fantasy Feast podcast? The Federalist? I love it. His name is Alexander Madison. Did you see that play, Bri?
I have not. Have you?
In person and watched it on Disney Plus. Yeah. You got to check it out. It's awesome.
My wife was watching it. I walked in and my head was spinning after 5 minutes. I said, I can't. It was too much.
It's awesome. We even watched it with our daughters once. They love it. They love plays. My wife loves plays. It's awesome. Plus, I'm like, people don't realize I'm crazy cultured like that. You know, Bri? Crazy cultured.
Sure you are. I'm
not just IPA, food, and football. All right. I can watch plays like Alexander Hamilton. Anyway, what are we even talking about? Oh, Vikings win the game. Alexander Madison. I don't expect the Falcons to get a real big post Dan Quinn boost. Maybe they do. Vikings win. How about 31-27? How about some points? Light it up.
Detroit at Jacksonville.
Do you think it's Detroit or Detroit?
Tomato, tomato.
You know, there are people that say Detroit. And there's actually people from Detroit that say Detroit. So really you can say Detroit, or Detroit.
Well, I know there's also when if you say, and I don't remember which is the right way and which is the wrong way, but if you say Nevada or Nevada, you can get yelled at.
Oh, it's Nevada.
Okay.
You do not say Nevada. Nevada is bad. People in Nevada do not like if you say Nevada.
And why is
I
that?
had my first game for CBS was Nevada against Toledo. And a couple of our tuckheads, I think David Merlino, patreon.com/RT Media. He's like, Ross, this is really important. You got to say Nevada, not Nevada.
Okay. And I'll just mention before, you can't say Melbourne. It's Melbourne.
Melbourne. But anyway, I think I've always said Detroit, but some people say Detroit, and then other people say Detroit. So anyway.
Well, if you're from the Motor City, let us know.
Yeah, well, Christopher Jackson, our web guy, he would know. I've heard my buddy Jim Miller, who's from there, say Detroit. Anyway, hit us up on social on that one or the private Slack channel. They're going to win the game. Coming off a bye. They're fresh. Jags are back to being terrible mode. Lions 27, Jags 20.
Cincinnati Bengals at the Indianapolis Colts. And obviously now that one may just be up in the air completely.
Right. There's a chance of that which that's a shame because on the Even Money podcast, I teased the Colts down to, I think, +2. That was one of my 3 two-team teasers that some of the listeners were upset about. I got a few tweets, Bri, from listeners that were like, the teasers don't do much for me. I like to pick sides. And it's like, dude, I'm up 14 units documented on the season. How about I've never done more than one teaser in a week. How about just like being appreciative of me putting money in your pocket via the DraftKings Sportsbook app? I mean, how about just that? How about that's the way I think is best to make money this week? Maybe go with it. It's been kind of working for me. Gosh, it's unbelievable to me that people complain when I'm up 14 units. You should file those complaints with the complaint department, Bri. Anyway, Colts will win the game if they have the game. I don't expect there to be a lot of points. I think I put a unit or 2 on the under. I'm going to go 23-17 Colts.
Chicago Bears at the Carolina Panthers.
One of the sneaky best 1:00 games, along with Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Philly, and this one. Who would have thought, not me, that Carolina and Chicago would be a really good game? Could go back and forth here. I'm going to go Carolina. I like the momentum they have. And yes, I am still not really a believer in the Chicago Bears. You know what? We'll see. I'll believe Foles plays well again. If he does, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Carolina to win the game. Low scoring because of that Bears D. Low scoring because of that Bears O too. 20-17 Carolina.
The New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins.
The way it looks right now, Bri, it seems like there's a realistic chance that the New York Jets go winless. There really is. I don't expect them to win this game. I'm taking the Dolphins. Although, my boy Fitz, every once in a while, he has a stinker, a clunker. Hopefully that's not this game. I like the Dolphins to win 27-13, 27, maybe 17. Like, it's almost hard to conjure how the Jets score 17 points or more. It really is. Jamison Crowder, 400 yards maybe. 27-17 Dolphins. Why don't you go ahead and lock them up, Bri?
Your survivor/knockout/whatever you call it, pick of the week.
Next game, it's the Green Bay Packers at the Tampa Bay Bucks.
My other pick of the week, though, Bri,
Yes.
is local businesses. Help support your local businesses, whether they are your corner stores, coffee spots, or favorite shops. Local businesses have always been on your team, supporting you and your community. They remember your order and call you by name, always giving back, making a difference, and going that extra mile. Right now, more than ever, local businesses need our support. So let's be there for them. The next time you go shopping, help your team score and choose to shop at local businesses. And while you're there, look for the contactless symbol and tap to pay with a contactless Visa to help support your community, because where and how you shop matters. Visa, everywhere you want to be, official partner of the NFL. You're going to be there, by the way, Bri.
Looking forward to it, yes.
Tampa Bay, typically a top 2 or 3 press box food in the NFL. That's awesome. Good for you.
Right now, they get an A, and I haven't even been there yet.
You're giving everybody an A these days. You've gone soft. You really don't know how to be a critic.
You get an A. You get an A.
You don't know how to be a critic. You're too sensitive.
I'm too
It's
nice.
not you're appreciative. You can be appreciative and still evaluate.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead. I think the Bucs are going to win the game. And I can check the DraftKings Sportsbook app to see if they're underdogs again. It's kind of gone back and forth multiple times. But I just think Brady very rarely loses 2 in a row. I think the Packers are kind of due for a loss, even though they're getting Devontae Adams back. And, everything that happened with like the fourth down thing and all that stuff, knowing Brady, he's going to come out with a vengeance. Brian, that's awesome you're doing that game, by the way. It's by far the game of the day.
It looks that way. Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible. That'll be an awesome game to be at. That'll be, even on the red zone, that'll get like 90% of the time. I'm just checking out the line real quick. Yes, the Buccaneers are back to getting a point. I think they're going to win it outright. I think it's 27-26. The Bucs win by a point over the Green Bay Packers. Let the doggies out, Bri.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Well, also considering that there are only 2 games in that 4:00 window, Jets, Dolphins, and the Green Bay, Tampa Bay game. Yeah, I'm guessing that Green Bay, Tampa Bay gets about 90% on the red zone.
Yeah, except for when Fitz does something crazy.
Exactly. All right, on to Sunday Night Football. It's the Rams and the 49ers.
You know, I know a lot of people that think this line is out of whack. I don't. I think the Rams are going to win the game. I think they might win it going away. I do know that the Niners are a prideful bunch, but listen, after they lost to the Eagles, you'd think that's a bounce back spot for them. They got slaughtered by the Dolphins. They didn't just lose, they got slaughtered. Rams have been extremely impressive. They are one of the teams, along with the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears, that I was wrong about. And I admit when I'm wrong, because that's what real men do, by the way. And I'm going to get the Rams to win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they win going away. This feels like the way they've been rolling right now. I'll go 27-20 Rams.
Monday Night Football, the first of 2 Monday Night Football, or maybe we're calling this Monday Afternoon Football. Kansas City at Buffalo.
Yeah, this works out for my schedule. 5 o'clock. Then as soon as the game's over, I'll drive about halfway back listening to Monday Night Football, watch the second half of Cowboys Cardinals, record maybe the power ranking show with you late Monday night, Bri, from the hotel. I got a whole little plan going on. I will be there. I guess on one hand, it's taken a little bit of the luster off of the game that the Bills and the Chiefs are no longer both undefeated, and they're both coming off a loss. On the other hand, makes this game even more critical because neither one of these teams wants to lose 2 in a row. They're going to be fighting like the Dickens, which I don't even know what that means. Well, how does the Dickens fight? Fighting like the Dickens. Who's Dickens? Think about that. Think about that you were such a good fighter at some point in your life that people would say to other people, I'm gonna fight like the Dickens. Like, I'm gonna fight like that dude. I mean, he would have been an MMA UFC star. They literally named an aggressive fighting style after the dude, fighting like the Dickens. Wow. I think both teams will be fighting like the Dickens. Kind of hard to pick the Chiefs to lose 2 in a row. Le'Veon Bell will not play, by the way. He's got like a 5-day protocol he's got to go through now that he got signed by a new team, and he was out of the league, I guess, for a day or 2. So you have to go through the whole protocol again. So he won't be playing. I don't think he'll even be there. I think the Chiefs find a way to get it done. Pretty high scoring, awesome, exciting game. I think it's going to be, I'll go 34-31 Chiefs. Maybe the game of the weekend, and your boy is there. Check it out on Westwood One Radio while you're driving home or whatever.
And finally, the other Monday night game. It's the Arizona Cardinals at the Dallas Cowboys.
Should be a bunch of points in this one as well. Cardinals defense has not played great. Now they don't have Chandler Jones. He's done for the year. Whereas the Cowboys defense, we know about them. All eyes will be on Andy Dalton, of course. People very, very curious to see whether or not he's going to be able to fill Dak's shoes. He's not going to play as well as Dak. I still think he's going to play plenty well enough. This is another one very tempted to take the underdog here. Very tempted. You know what? I'm going to do it. They're playing at home. I think Andy Dalton comes out and plays sharp. I think the Cowboys get it done. Kyler Murray loses his first game ever at AT&T Stadium, played there in, I think, 3 straight state championships. Dallas Cowboys 31. Arizona Cardinals 28. Let the doggies out again, Bri.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Some shout outs are in order. These are I think we're done here, members of our patreon.com/RT Media, Pizza Boy Brewing, DynastyFreaks.com, Sporticulture, SteakhouseSports.com, Vision Comics with an X. Please, if you haven't already, rate and review the show. Make sure you subscribe on multiple devices. You never know how or where you'll be able to listen. We'll have social media clips over the weekend. Good place for you to check it out is youtube.com/RossTuckerNFL. Check out the other shows as well. Tomorrow, Sunday morning. I think we're done here.
Thanks for listening to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Fantasy Feast, Even Money, Business of Sports, and College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, RossTucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.